for Periscope. Periscope's a little easier to use. All right, so I am now live on both Periscope and on Google Hangout. Feel free to start asking me questions about anything weather related, specifically about winter weather awareness. We've got some stuff going on in the background. So hi from California. Nice to hear you there. So let's see if I can get the questions up and going here. Q&A. All right. Let's give a little rundown here if you're on Google Hangout. See, if you want to ask a question, you want to go and hit the boxes up in the upper right-hand corner here. And then you'll go down and hit Q&A. And then you're going to start asking questions on the right-hand side. So on the left-hand side, there's a button that says Q&A. You'll click that. Then you'll want to click the boxes in the upper right-hand corner and start asking questions. So from there, I'll take any questions you've got. Hey, what's happening? So we're going to start talking about winter weather awareness. Why are we talking about this? Well, there's a lot of stuff that goes on with winter weather, and we want to talk about your safety. We've got different things going on like hypothermia and frostbite that causes death. And we're talking about accident related on roadways, all because of the ice and snow, of course, the slick spots you've got going on. And we're going to continue to talk about how to prepare for these situations as we go on throughout the rest of this talk. It goes to about 7 o'clock. So if you're just joining us, let's see here, we've got cold weather will reduce lemon growth too. Yeah. Yes, it gets very cold very quickly. Okay, so we're going to talk about why we need to talk about winter weather awareness. So let's throw some statistics out there for you. If you're watching, 70% of injuries due to ice and snow are vehicle accident related. So that's, can you explain why there is no, yeah. Okay, winter weather questions only, guys. Right now I'm in the weather lab and we're talking about winter weather awareness. So 70% of injuries result from vehicle accidents from snow and ice. 25% occur in people caught outside within the storm. So of course, if you know that storm is coming, like when a watch or an advisory is issued, you want to go inside and keep yourself prepared. That's why that watch and advisory is issued. So 25% occur when people are caught within the storm. There's no one standing beside me. What happens because of the snow and ice? A lot of these injuries take place in males because we have people, or we have those males going outside saying, oh, we'll shovel, we'll go out there. You exert yourself too much and you end up sweating, and then you can get frostbite from being too cold from the cold weather outside and getting hypothermia. So that's the case there. We'll talk a little bit more about some statistics here. Let's see. I've got a few more. Injuries related to the cold. 50% happen to people over 60 years old. So a lot of the elderly have a hard time getting outside or going outside and actually shoveling their own driveways and getting outside and stuff like that. They end up slipping. It's a little too windy. You definitely want to stay inside when you have this kind of situation, stuff like that. So we have frostbite and hypothermia being the two main concerns, and of course being overexerting yourself during winter weather. More than 75% happen to males. We talked about this because they offer to go outside, or they are usually the ones to shovel the driveways and overexert themselves. And 20% usually occur within your home. So you definitely want to take care there. Wind chill, we talk about that when we get down to, oh, we have a question, let's see. Even though I've had some experience in winter driving, what advice would you give me for the rest of us driving at night with snow flying in the air? Okay, so when you're driving outside and there's snow flying in the air, it is difficult to see with blowing snow anyway. That snow going with the wind at least 5 miles per hour can pick it up and blow it across. You lose visibility almost instantaneously. So of course you want to slow down. First and foremost, you want to stay inside during winter storms overall, especially if you have blizzard conditions or very hazardous conditions going on. So stay indoors, but if you do have to go outdoors, you want to take your time, slow down, give yourself more time in between you and the person in front of you, and just more time overall getting to one place to another, and slow down. Keep in mind that there is other traffic around you, so you're not just watching out for yourself, but you're also watching out for the other person behind you, in front of you, or on either side of you. So let's see, let's throw some graphics up here. Bear with me 1 second. Pull this up. Show you some watches and warnings and what they mean. We'll talk about those. Let's see. We'll talk about let's see. Bear with me here. First time we're using Google Hangout, so let's share the screen. I want to show you how is hypothermia treated? Good question. Well, actually, let's answer that for you. You want to seek medical attention quickly. Call 911 immediately. Before that, you want to get yourself warmed up slowly. You don't want to warm yourself up fast, because if you do, you can cause a very dangerous situation. And you're improperly warming somebody, the body will drive cold blood from the extremities to the heart, which can lead to heart failure. So you definitely want to warm yourself up slowly. They say to strip yourself down, and body heat is the quickest way to do that. So warm yourself slowly. Blankets, 1 layer at a time. That way you can slowly keep yourself warming. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, back to the winter weather outlook. Very good question. Okay, so we'll answer this question. Your winter weather outlook, you're looking at a very strong El Nino. Of course, we've all heard the Godzilla name here, El Nino. As most of you have heard from probably other news stations or the Weather Channel, something very similar. So you've got this El Nino effect, which is warming the Pacific waters, and it's causing a warming effect for us. So what this outlook is, we can't tell you how much snow, when you're going to see it, but we can tell you that it looks to be slightly warmer than normal, and drier than normal. Like I said, that's all based on this El Nino, where we can't tell you exactly the temperature that you're going to see for this winter season, and we can't tell you exactly how much snow, how much precipitation we'll see. It's just looking to be warmer and drier than normal. Right now, that's your winter weather outlook. Okay, so let's see if we can get back to sharing some stuff here with you on Google Hangout. Let me pull up some stuff here. Okay. Let's see. Not sure if you're seeing this at all, but we'll try it. Bear with me 1 second. Not sure why I'm not getting any share screens, but we will. Let's try this one more time. Not sure if you're seeing any of this. You're seeing a lot of that. Let's see here. Okay. Any questions? The weather, well, we're expected to see some rain and thunderstorms move through here within the Cedar Rapids area, probably within the next 10 to 20 minutes or so. Other than that, the weather's just fine. It's been warmer than normal. All right. Yeah, it is. It's nice to forecast weather other than some sunshine, right? Good stuff. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about what we've got going on here. Winter weather safety. I can't pull up those graphics, so what I'm going to do is just talk about them. So you'll just see my face likely here. Those of you on Periscope, I can flip over the graphic here so you can see it. So I'm going to flip from my face to the graphic here. So let's talk about wind chill advisories. Those are when values are expected to fall to at least -20 Fahrenheit. So that can cause frostbite in 30 minutes if you're out there for an extended period of time. So you want to wear insulated clothing and do so while you're out there. We always suggest that you stay inside when this is happening. For which period of time are you talking for this weather forecast? Are you talking for this evening? Because if it is, yes, that is very accurate then. I would say that that rain will be here fairly quickly. Okay, so when you have wind chill values falling to a -20 or less with at least a 5-mile-per-hour wind, that's when you're going to see that wind chill advisory, which can cause frostbite in 30 minutes or less. Now let's talk about a wind chill warning. It's significantly different, about 10 degrees cooler. Wind chill values expected to fall at least to -30 or less with a wind speed of at least 5 miles per hour. Of course, you consider canceling all events, school, work, whatever, because of that cold air. You can get frostbite in less than 10 minutes. And of course, hypothermia being a big concern there too, because it is so cold outside. So we'll move on to a different type. We've got a, let's see, pull up. Oh, my computer froze here. Bear with me. We'll talk about a winter weather advisory here. That's when you can see 3 to 5 inches of snow or more. And of course, you see less than ½ an inch of sleet, or you can see visibility reduced to 1/4 mile due to blowing snow. These are all expected, so you want to be advised. Of course, this is why it's called an advisory. Just be aware that this situation could happen, and that's where we say get that kit prepared and have a plan of action. So know where to go, what to have during the situation if you lose power, if you lose any sort of situation like, or have any sort of situation like that. So that is a winter weather advisory for you on Periscope. You can see that. All right, and we'll talk a little bit more about a winter storm warning. And that's when you can see 6 to 8 inches or more in 24 hours, 6 to 8 inches of snow or more within 24 hours. ½ an inch or more of sleet, definitely possible during a winter storm warning. That is usually when it is occurring and will see this amount. They are very sure that you will see this amount. Or a combination of both with at least 25-mile-per-hour winds. So that's when the National Weather Service will issue a winter storm warning, and we will let you know, of course, when something like that is happening. We usually forecast out at least 24 hours in advance. So now we'll talk about a blizzard warning. A blizzard warning, for those of you on Periscope can see the graphic here, but for those of you on Google Hangout, I'll just mention it to you. Blizzard warning, about 1/4 mile visibility. You have 35 miles per hour winds or more, usually sustained or frequent mile-per-hour winds, 35. Falling or blowing snow during the situation for 3 hours or more. And that's what we consider a blizzard warning. We got a question, what is this? This is Google Hangout. We're talking about Winter Weather Awareness Day. It is Winter Weather Awareness Day, and we want you guys to be prepared because a lot of accidents happen during the winter, usually from improper heating, accidents on the roadways, just accidents from overworking yourself while being outside, shoveling your driveway. So we're just trying to keep you safe here. Okay, so we'll move on here to the next one. We'll talk about, let's see, talk about an ice warning here, ice storm warning. Hey, thank you, Mike. Thanks for tuning in. This is an ice storm warning. For those of you, of course, on Google Hangout, can't see the graphic, but again, I'm going to mention it to you just joining in. Those of you on Periscope, great job for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And this is what you're seeing, an ice storm warning on the graphic. This is usually a freezing rain event. You can get sleet in this as well. It's usually about a 1/4 inch or more thick. You want to refrain from driving out on the roadways because this is a very dangerous situation. Because it is a warning, it means it is happening, and either is happening or will occur very soon. So you want to refrain from driving. You want to also prepare for power outages, because this is definitely possible, especially when you get a 1/4 of an inch of ice or more, very thick on those power lines. And of course, if it's picking up on power lines, it's also picking up on trees. So you'll get those branches that will snap and fall into the roadways. That causes for an even more dangerous situation, especially if you're driving on those roadways. So there we are. We talked about a few of those warnings. Now I want you to make sure that you're staying informed. So if you don't already have a weather radio, flip you back over here if I can get you on Periscope. Okay, there we go. If you don't already have a weather radio, we suggest getting one. That keeps you up to date on those watches, warnings, and advisories. You can get the mobile, that way you can take it with you, or you can get the desktop version. That way it's in your home and it's constantly giving you those warnings, keeping you updated and prepared for the potential winter storm that could come up. So let's do this here. We talked about watches and warnings. We talked about keeping you prepared. So what to do while you're at home in your vehicles, or if you're out on the farm or anywhere outside, that's what we're going to talk about next. So let's see if I can pull up some graphics here. Now, of course, those of you on Google Hangout can't get those graphics up for you, but let me pull up some information here for those of you on Periscope. Okay, let's see. Let's pull up. We talk about before the storm safety here. Pull that over. Okay, I'll flip you back over here, Periscope. Maybe. There we go. So what to do before the storm. You want to stay up to date, of course, using that weather radio. Tuning into TV9 will always keep you updated on the current situation and what's to come in our forecast. So you want to stay up to date with that. We've got kcrg.com. Of course, we've got our weather app. You want to download that. We can keep you up to date on there. The National Weather Service, you can always go to weather.gov and get information there. But of course, TV9 will have all that information for you as well. We will keep you up to date with delays or change of travel. Have that appropriate clothing. You know, keep yourself insulated, especially during the cold weather. And always remember your pets. You know, if you're cold, so are they. Give them fresh water. Of course, if the air temperature is below 32 degrees, their water is freezing. So of course, and you want to keep them warm. Maybe give them a blanket and a little sheltered house, a dog house there. Keep them somewhat warm if they cannot come indoors. So that's what to do before the storm here. And flip over to another graphic, what to do during the storm. Open that up. This is difficult doing simultaneously. Okay. Okay, we'll talk about what we'll do after the storm here. So of course, after the storm is pretty much just as difficult as it is during the storm. You want to dress appropriately. Lots of layers, especially if you're going outdoors to shovel that driveway or whatever you may be doing. Consider your physical condition, of course, age and whatnot. If you have heart problems, you want to check on others, your pets, your neighbors. You're not the only one going through the situation, so keep them in thought as well. Okay, So let's see here. Does anybody have any questions? I can ask some questions so I'm not just rambling on about weather safety. I'd love to answer some questions here. All right. We'll talk about some cold weather safety. Okay. Of course, basically what I've said over and over and over again, dress in layers, keep yourself insulated. You want to stay warm. I don't know a lot of people who enjoy being cold, but you definitely want to stay warm. Take extra care to protect your hands, your head, and your feet. Extremities can be very difficult to keep warm. Know when to go inside. I'd say if it is 32 degrees or below, I would not stay outside for more than a half hour. It gets cold very quickly, and it depends on your physical body itself. I know, but you don't want to stay outside for more than what you can handle. So go inside frequently, keep yourself warmed up, and of course, don't forget your pets. Can't stress that enough. Okay. What is the difference between a blizzard watch and a blizzard warning? Well, we usually just have that blizzard warning letting you know that that is going to happen very soon, or if it's not already happening. And I'll pull up that graphic one more time for you here. Let's see. Blizzard warning. So a blizzard warning is about 1/4 mile visibility, 35-mile-per-hour winds with falling or blowing snow for 3 hours or more. So that's what you consider a blizzard warning. Now, a watch just means to keep yourself prepared, and we're about to talk about what you need to keep yourself prepared. So we'll talk about a kit here that you guys can put in your car or even at home to keep yourself prepared for when an advisory or a watch does come out, or if a blizzard warning is there as well. So we've got one question here on Google Hangout. We flip the camera on Periscope here so you can see. Okay. What determines the type of snow we get from snow systems? Okay, that is a very in-depth question. It's all based on location, movement, and snow ratio. So it's not always 1 inch of rain equals 10 inches of snow. It all depends on various situations. So, of course, if you've got a Colorado track storm, which usually moves from the south up to the north, you've got a situation that runs and gives you a heavier, thick amount of snow. Now, if you're not getting as much moisture, you're getting a dry snow. So that'll be a lighter snow. So it's not going to hurt your back as much if you're trying to sit there and shovel it. If you get that Colorado track storm versus the Alberta track, then you're getting a thick, heavy snow, which is going to be more difficult on your back or more difficult on you trying to shovel it and get it going. So different types of snow based on location, different types of tracks, how much moisture you're getting, stuff like that. It's a very in-depth question. That could go on for days. All right. So let's flip this over here. I'm going to show you some things that you can get for your car. Yes, of course. There are 5 meteorologists here on staff. Usually during severe weather, there's Chris Hadley, myself, Justin Gertz, Kai O'Mara, and of course, Joe Winters, our chief, who are all here for you guys to keep you up to date on winter weather situations and, of course, any severe weather situation that we do have and your day-to-day weather. So make sure to tune in to TV9. We've got you covered here. We'll get you all up to date on any sort of weather situation. Of course, on our website, kcrg.com/weather, and our weather app, you can download that anytime for iOS and, of course, your iPhone or your Android, whatever you may have. So now I'm going to show you some stuff that you can get for your car or for at home for just a safety kit to keep yourself prepared during a situation like this. So bear with me here. A lot of stuff going on. I've got 2 different things going on. Set this down right here. A little more steady. Okay. Little safety kit. You get a nice bag to put it all in. Otherwise, it's going to float all around the car or all around the house. And you want to make sure it's in a location where you all know where it's at. during a situation like this, during a winter weather situation. So pull out my bag of goodies. We've got some hand warmers in here, maybe to just keep your hands warm as you're sitting in the car. If you're stuck on an interstate, something like that to help keep you warm. Of course, extra clothing would be great too to keep yourself warm. With that, we've got some gloves, a blanket, a hat in here. So always want to keep an extra blanket, layers upon layers that help keep you warm. That way, if you have to turn off your car, if you're running low on gas, you do have something to keep you warm. Same for being in a house. If you lose power, you have that extra blanket. You know where it's at. You don't have to worry. So just keep stuff like that ready. We've got hats and gloves in here. There's some extra gloves to help keep you warm here. You want to get what? I'm sorry, I missed your last question there. If you could retype it, I'll see what I can do. See if I can answer it for you. So some gloves, keep yourself warm. Of course, you always want to have an extra pair in the car, in the house, just in case you lose power. A hat, keep your head warm. Those extremities, most important, you want to keep warm so you don't get frostbite, any situation like that. A flashlight. We talked about losing power. Use a flashlight. You want that extra handy in the car. If you're in the house and you lose power there, you'll have that. Extra batteries, of course, which we do have in here. A flare if you're outside and about, going on, traveling on the interstate, back roads. If you happen to get stuck, you do have that flare to shoot off. Maybe a lighter just in case, extra heat. Candles, stuff like that if you do lose power for the house. Rope. If you get stuck, somebody else gets stuck, you can help them out. Very useful. You can use that if you're out and about. Even in your own driveway if you happen to get stuck. The scraper. Of course, you can't go anywhere if you can't see out the windows, so you do need that scraper. Let's see here. And we do have a first aid kit. Has everything. Bandages, gauze, whatever you need. Scissors, usually a good thing to have. Medication. Don't forget if you have small kids, diapers, stuff like that, little food. Water, extra water, good to have in the car itself. Non-perishable food, I should have mentioned that. Just extra things if you do happen to get hungry or need food if you are stuck for an extended period of time. Another good thing to have, some sand, or if you don't have sand, you can get some litter. This helps for traction if you're stuck on roadways or just stuck in general in your driveway. Pour a little underneath the tire. It helps grab some traction there so that way you can get out a little bit easier. And if you don't have it, I suggest finding a battery-powered radio. That way you are getting updates on this current situation that you may be in. If you're stuck, if your power's out at home, you can get news updates. You can get any sort of update from the National Weather Service. You can get a weather radio that has AM, FM with it. Midland does provide that, so you can get one of those. So yeah. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more now about some winter weather that may hit our area. We'll talk about some normals that actually happen in the winter weather. See if I can pull it up. Okay, let's talk about December normals. We are in the month of November, and it's notorious for getting cold. We are slowly getting there. We do have a cold front running through this evening, dropping our temperatures back down into the 50s, so we're dealing with that. Stop and ask, does anybody have any questions about the safety kit that I just talked about? Anybody? Feel free to ask questions while I'm talking. I'll do my best to answer them if they come up on the screen, if I catch them. Same for you on Google Hangout. If you have any questions, feel free. Okay, so we'll get back to this. I'll grab the phone here and flip you guys back over to graphics. All right, so some monthly normals for December here. December 1st, your temperature is usually ranging around 38 degrees. By the end of the month, we dropped about 10 degrees down to 28 degrees. These are your high temperatures, folks. Low temperatures drop to 20 degrees by usually the 1st of December, all the way down to a low of 12 degrees for the end of December, December 31st. So precipitation anywhere between about 1.42 inches of rain to about 7.8 inches of snow for the month of December. There's that. We'll talk about January's. Let's see here. If I can find it. All right, so January, for those of you on Periscope, bear with my shaking hands. January, our high temperature usually ranges anywhere from 28 degrees from the 1st of the month to 29 degrees through January 31st. I know, it goes up a degree. It usually stays pretty consistent. Your low, about 11 degrees to 12 degrees, so still pretty consistent there. Not a big changing month here. Snowfall, about 6.2 inches. Of course, this is a normal. It can range higher or lower depending on the year. So let's see, we'll flip over to February's normals. February, you're usually sitting around 30 degrees. We're slowly starting to get warmer here, folks. 30 degrees for a high, the 1st of February. February 29th, usually around 39 degrees. A low of 12 for the 1st of February to a low of 21 for the end of February here. Usually around 1.25 inches of rain for precipitation, and then snowfall, about 7 inches of rain. So there is about 7 inches of snow, excuse me. All right, so some more fun statistics that we can talk about. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask here. I'll read you off some statistics. Cedar Rapids, these are for Cedar Rapids here. Normal first inch of snow falls around December 8th. So we are getting very close to this, almost a month, just over a month, where we can see that normal, where we see about 1 inch of snow for the first time. Now, we have seen a few flakes around the TV9 viewing area already just a few weeks ago, where we got very, very cool. Okay. So average temperature normals between December, January, and February range around 22.4 degrees. And your annual average snowfall normals from 1981 to 2010 are about 26.7 inches. So for the next 3 months, basically December through February, we could see a little over 26 inches of snow. Now, this all depends on the year, and of course, this is an El Nino year, so we could be slightly warmer and slightly drier. So we'll have to watch that for you. We can't tell you how much snow you're going to see this winter, unfortunately, but we can't tell you that with the El Nino event going on that we do have, it is likely that we'll be slightly warmer and slightly drier than normal. So if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to let you go, but I hope you found this helpful. We're trying it out for the first time on Google Hangout. I've done Periscope a few times. It's a little more casual. Hopefully you find it helpful and somewhat entertaining. So if you don't have any questions, I will go for now, and feel free to email us. Of course, you can email us weather@kcrg.com. So send us in anything that you want to ask. Of course, we're here on Periscope. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're pretty much everywhere. We just did Snapchat. You can do that. I think it's KCRG First Alert. You can join us on Snapchat, see what we're doing behind the scenes. And of course, I'll throw some winter weather awareness stuff on there. We'll talk about pretty much anything weather related. So feel free to email us, and I'll probably be on Periscope sometime this weekend, maybe even tomorrow. We'll try Google Hangout once more and see how that goes. We had a few viewers on there, so pretty decent. We had a great turnout. Feel free to ask us anything. Send us in. See you later. All right.